AI agents are heading into production, but guess what? Their cost could spike fivefold, pushing governance to the forefront. Meanwhile, your AI model outputs might be getting boringly similar to everyone else's. And Nvidia is making a shrewd move to dominate the future of AI inference. Today, we're digging into what all this means for builders. No BS AI briefing brought to you by Proactive AI. Welcome back. I'm your host, Vikash Sharma, and this is where builders get straightforward AI news without the fluff. All right, let's dive into some high signal items that dropped today. We've got some big shifts happening, especially around infrastructure and differentiation. First up, the chip giant Nvidia is reportedly in talks with Rebellions, a Korean AI chip startup. According to Bloomberg on August 21st, Jensen Huang himself met with Rebellion's CEO Sunghyun Park to discuss a potential technical partnership, a direct investment, or even an acquisition. Now, why Rebellions? They build these incredibly energy efficient AI inference accelerators, which fill a really interesting gap in NVIDIA's current lineup. This isn't just about market expansion, these talks align perfectly with NVIDIA's broader strategy to strengthen its role in sovereign AI infrastructure programs, especially across Europe and the Asia Pacific regions. For builders, this could mean tighter CUDA integration, which is a double edged sword, right? On one hand, it's powerful, on the other, it could increase hardware lock in risk for teams who are trying to bet on non NVIDIA stacks. But hey, inference optimized, power efficient chips could seriously cut down serving costs for those edge and latency sensitive applications you're building. Plus, if sovereign AI programs take off, they might just open up new hardware options and partnerships, especially for builders in the EU or APAC. Definitely something to keep an eye on. Next, something that might make you pause if you're relying heavily on off the shelf models for creative outputs. Unite AI reported on August 21st about a new study that found model outputs are actually converging across providers. This review looked at 69 different models from 12 major providers, and it showed a statistically significant decline in output diversity since 2023. What does that mean in plain English? Newer models are increasingly spitting out similar creative responses, leading to what the study calls an algorithmic monoculture. It's kind of like everyone's getting their ideas from the same brain. The likely culprits: overlapping training data and very similar optimization objectives across all these different companies. So, why does this matter for you, the builder? Well, if you're relying on these models for content features, your product's differentiation might be eroding. That content risks becoming commoditized fast. This makes proprietary data and careful fine tuning absolutely core to your product's moat. It's time to really invest in those domain specific workflows. And don't forget hybrid human in the loop approaches. Those can definitely restore some uniqueness and crucial quality control to your AI generated content. And finally, something truly important for anyone thinking about deploying AI agents in the real world. Enterprise governance tools are really starting to mature for production agents. Solutions Review dropped this on August 21st, highlighting some key trends. Gartner, for example, projects that inference costs per agentic workflow could rise by a factor of 5 by 2028. 5 times. Why? Because of complex multi step reasoning and elaborate orchestration agents need to do. That's a huge jump. In response, we're seeing new solutions like Newbird's Earned Autonomy Framework, which offers 4 distinct permission levels for production agents. Plus, Snowflake just added dynamic model routing to its Cortex AI gateway, allowing you to balance task complexity, compliance policies, and cost automatically. For builders, this is a clear signal. Cost governance and robust circuit breakers aren't just good ideas anymore, they're becoming mandatory for any serious agent deployment. Standardized permissioning like Newbird's framework can slash engineering overhead and significantly reduce compliance risk. And that dynamic routing, it's a game changer, potentially offsetting those rising costs by matching the right model choice to the specific task needs automatically. This isn't about if agents will be useful, it's about how we can manage them effectively at scale. Now, out of these stories, the one I want us to really dig into, the one that I think is the most important right now for founders and engineers, is the maturing of enterprise AI governance for production agents. It's a huge shift from experimentation to serious production discipline. What exactly happened here? Well, we're seeing a significant inflection point for AI agents. Gartner, a respected analyst firm, is projecting that the inference costs for agentic workflows could increase by 5 times by 2028. That's a massive jump, and it's driven by the very nature of agents. Their multi step reasoning, their complex orchestration, how they interact with different tools. Simultaneously, companies are rolling out practical solutions to manage this. Newbird released something called an earned autonomy framework, which sounds corporate, but it's actually a really smart way to define 4 clear permission levels for agents, making it easier to control what they can and can't do in production environments. And then there's Snowflake, which has baked dynamic model routing directly into its Cortex AI gateway. This lets you automatically choose the most appropriate model for a given task, balancing factors like complexity, compliance policies, and crucially, cost. These aren't just isolated announcements. They're all pointing to one thing: agents are no longer just cool demos. They're becoming core business logic, touching sensitive data and carrying real financial and operational risks. So, why does this matter right now? Simple. Agent deployments are graduating. We're moving past the can we build agents question and squarely into can we deploy them safely, securely, and economically. This isn't some distant future concern. It's happening today. As agents take on more sophisticated tasks, interacting with more systems, and making more decisions, the stakes climb. The market is demanding not just capability, but also control, auditability, and clear lines of responsibility. These new tools and frameworks are a direct response to those demands. If you're building agents and ignoring these aspects, you're essentially building a potential liability without the necessary safety nets. Who should really care about this? Honestly, everyone building with AI, but especially a few key roles. Founders and product managers, you need to embed governance, observability, and cost controls into your agent powered products from day one. This isn't a feature you bolt on later, it's a foundational competitive advantage. Teams that can promise safe, cost controlled, and auditable agents will gain trust and market share. Then there are the infrastructure engineers and engineering leaders. You're on the hook for implementing these controls, optimizing for cost, and ensuring system security. Think about how you'll integrate these frameworks, set up monitoring, and build those crucial circuit breakers. And even for indie hackers building smaller projects, understanding these patterns helps you build robust, future proof agents that won't run away with your credit card or your reputation. It's about designing for scale and safety from the start. How would I think about this as a builder? My mental model here is really simple. Think of agent governance like moving from ad hoc scripts to structured DevOps. When we first started building software, we just wrote code and pushed it live. But as systems got more complex, we realized we needed CI/CD, monitoring, logging, security audits, and a whole discipline of ops. Agent ops or agent governance is the same thing, just for autonomous AI systems. The opportunity is huge for startups that can build specialized tools and platforms for agent governance, or for existing products that can integrate these features seamlessly. Imagine a platform that just gets agent compliance out of the box. That's powerful. The risk, of course, is ignoring this. If you don't bake in governance, you're looking at cost overruns, potential security breaches, and a massive headache when it comes to compliance or explaining why your agent did something unexpected. What should you ignore? Don't get bogged down in philosophical debates about agent sentience or extreme existential risks right now. Focus on the very practical, immediate, and tangible risks of deploying complex multi step AI systems into production today. My no BS take. This isn't hype at all, it's a necessary, overdue evolution for AI agents to move beyond interesting experiments and become truly valuable, reliable tools in the enterprise. Builders who proactively embrace these governance principles and integrate robust cost and control mechanisms will be the ones who actually succeed in deploying impactful AI agents at scale. Those who don't will quickly find themselves battling uncontrolled costs and unforeseen liabilities. The Gartner projection is a stark wake up call, and the industry is responding with real usable solutions. If you want one practical takeaway from today's episode that you can act on this week, here it is. Start implementing cost governance for your AI agents today. It's a foundational step that will save you headaches and money down the line, especially with those projected cost increases. Here's how to try it in under 60 minutes. First, for every single API call your agent makes to an LLM, log the exact number of tokens used and the precise cost. Most LLM SDKs provide this information directly. You might just need to enable a verbose logging mode or add a simple wrapper function. This gives you granular visibility. Second, if your agent has multiple steps or stages in its workflow, and most practical agents do, compute the cost for each distinct workflow step. For instance, if your agent first summarizes a document, then drafts an email, then plans follow-up actions, break down and track the costs for each of those individual segments. This helps you identify which parts of your agent's process are the most expensive. And finally, the circuit breaker. This is critical. Add a simple threshold, say $0.50 or $1,000 as a maximum spend for a single agent run. If the cumulative cost of that run exceeds your set threshold at any point, immediately stop the agent's execution. Don't let it proceed. Then log the event and send an alert to a human for review. This prevents those runaway agent scenarios where an agent gets into an infinite loop or makes incredibly expensive API calls without you knowing until the bill arrives. Why is this specific experiment worth your time right now? Because it gives you immediate visibility and control over one of the biggest emerging risks in agent deployment: unpredictable costs. By putting these basic cost guardrails in place, you prevent potential bill shock, gain critical insights into your agent's economic efficiency, and you start building a culture of cost awareness within your team long before you scale to hundreds or thousands of agent runs. It's a proactive step that pays dividends. That's it for today's No BS AI briefing. If this helped, follow the show in your podcast app and share it with one builder you know. And if you've got questions or topics you want covered, connect with me on LinkedIn and send them over. See you in the next briefing.